Hi everyone, I've been away from YouTube for a while for several reasons. This is one of them. I've designed a set of tools for my friends at 54 Dean Street. This is the nesting hair stackers. We've got the Piccolo for your standard work with deer hair. You've got the Demi for longer work with elk and moose body. We've got the standard for use with bucktail and smaller bunches of deer belly for spinning, and we've got the Magnum for your much bigger work of deer belly and bucktail, saltwater flies, predator. So we'll start with the Piccolo. So with the Piccolo, for your standard deer hair work, we'll just cut a little bunch of deer hair here. Check the tips that there's no super long hairs. If there is, we just pull these out because this will make stacking difficult. All the tips, take our brush or a comb and we just remove the shorter hair and the underfur. This is very important, especially if you're going to spin the hair, because the underfur will act as an anchor. So all the stackers have a chamfered edge, which make putting the hair in easier. I'll just drop that down. Make sure the hair goes in. Give it a couple of bangs. Now this is also important. You see, most hair stackers have a rubber, felt or cork base, so it doesn't make so much noise when you tap it, but it also dampens the contact. It's rather like having a rubber tip on a hammer. You need that sound, and then your hair will stack beautifully. Now what I've also done on all the stackers is I've shortened the inner sleeve so the hair is easier to take hold of when you're bringing it out, and then you have a nice stack piece for your wings tails. That's the Piccolo. Then we have the Demi. This is for your work with longer hair like elk and moose body like this. All these are also useful for squirrel and badger. So again, take your hair, remove the shorter, your brush. There's a couple of long ones there, so I'll just have those out. I know if you have any long ones that have broken tips or bent tips, also get rid of those, because those will make the hair stacking more difficult. So we just go through that, see if there's any stragglers, and then we'll put this in. If you place your stacker to one side when you've got hair that is slightly curved like this, what it will do, especially with elk, is it will put everything in line with each other. So when you're doing wings like for a stimulator, everything will curve the right way. And you've got a nice stacked bunch of moose there for tails, wings. That's the Demi. So then we have the standard, which is, again, all these increase in size. This is for your shorter bucktail work and smaller bunches of deer belly when you're going to spin hair for big predator flies and saltwater bass bugs. So a little tip here is, if you look at the back side of a bucktail, and they're called bucktails, but that's a generic name, they're also from the does, you get this dark triangular area in the center. If you take a craft knife from the back, hold it there, and you follow that line very carefully that you don't lose any fingers, you cut off the light area following the line of the black, what you end up with is that. So the advantage of doing this is that when you're choosing your hair, all the brown is gone and kept on the centre tail, and you end up with two white pieces, or whatever colour your bucktails are dyed. Makes it much easier to select hair from and work with. So we'll take a bunch of bucktail here, again we turn it around, hold it, grip it tightly with the tips, and we remove firstly just by our hands all the shorter hair. There's very little underfur on bucktails, but the shorter hair is generally more crinkly. And we'll get rid of that. Then we turn this around, and if there's any super long hairs, we just take hold of the tips and we pull them out and align them up like this before we start actually stacking the hair. This will make it much easier and give you a much evener stack. And then again, any short ones we just remove. Then we'll put our bunch in the standard, and again, very important that you bang it properly. This is centre table, I'm banging this, but when I'm tying, I normally bang it over where the leg is. You have a much more solid surface to bang it on. So then we have a nicely stacked bunch of bucktail ready for your predator or saltwater pattern. That's the standard. And then we have the Magnum. This again is for longer bucktail, for the very big flies, saltwater, predator flies, and larger bunches of deer belly if you're spinning big divers and bass boats. But what I've also done here, design-wise, is that all these will fit inside each other very nicely, so you can get them into your little pouch which comes with each set. I'm very pleased with this pouch because it's made from pre-loved Patagonia waders that are not used anymore, so we've managed to recycle them and make this little travelling pouch. The stacker set is only available from 54 Dean Street, which I'll put a link to, and thanks for watching.